Spectral evidence. Detective Raghav had always known he was different. From a young age, he could see things others couldn't, specifically, the spirits of those who had passed. At first, he thought he was losing his mind, but over time, he learned to live with it. The spirits never really bothered him, only appearing when there was unfinished business. They didn't talk, but their presence alone spoke volumes. Raghav had kept his ability a secret throughout his career. In the quiet town of Arvind, where petty theft and the occasional bar fight were the worst crimes, his gift had never really been necessary. That was until the night Niraj Sharma disappeared. Sharma, a well-respected businessman, had been found dead in his home, his body mutilated in a way that sent chills down Raghav's spine. The police were baffled. There were no signs of forced entry, no murder weapon, and no suspects. The town, known for its peace, was suddenly gripped by fear. When Raghav arrived at the crime scene, he immediately sensed something off. The air felt heavy, like a storm was about to break. As he walked through the dimly lit rooms of the Sharma residence, his eyes caught glimpses of movement in the corners, shadows that didn't belong to anything living. Then he saw him, Niraj Sharma, or rather, his spirit. Sharma's ghost stood near the spot where his body had been found, his eyes wide with shock, as if he were still processing the horror of his death. He didn't speak, but Raghav could feel the urgency in his gaze, a desperate need for justice. The problem was, ghosts couldn't directly tell Raghav who had killed them, and even if they could, no one would believe him. It was up to Raghav to piece together the puzzle. The first few days of the investigation led nowhere. The forensics team found nothing, and there were no witnesses. But Raghav knew better. He had noticed something odd at the scene, a faint mark on the floor, barely visible, as if someone had dragged something heavy. Following his instincts, he began looking into Niraj's personal life, searching for clues. It didn't take long to uncover secrets. Niraj had been involved in some shady business deals, lending money to people who couldn't pay it back, and some of those people had reason to want him dead. But something about the brutality of the murder didn't fit the typical revenge narrative. Then, one night, while reviewing case notes at his desk, Raghav felt a chill that ran down his spine. When he looked up, Niraj's spirit was there again, but this time, he wasn't alone. A second figure stood beside him, a young woman Raghav had never seen before, her ghostly form flickering and out of focus.
She led him to a forgotten part of town, to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts. It was there that Raghav found her body, hidden under debris, long since decayed. Her name was Maya, a woman who had gone missing 5 years earlier, her case unsolved. Raghav realized then that Niraj's murder wasn't just about money. It was about something far darker. As he dug deeper, Raghav uncovered a trail of disappearances, all connected to a powerful figure in town, an influential politician named Vikram. Vikram had used his influence to cover up Maya's death and others like hers, silencing anyone who got too close. Niraj had found out the truth and threatened to expose him. That was why he was killed. With no solid evidence, Raghav's only lead was the spectral presence of the victims. As he stood in the warehouse, the ghosts of Niraj and Maya lingered, watching him, urging him to take the next step. But Raghav knew this was dangerous territory. Going after Vikram could cost him his job, maybe even his life. Still, he couldn't ignore the truth. Using the limited clues he had, Raghav slowly built a case, gathering testimony from those who had been wronged by Vikram and tracing payments that linked the politician to shady dealings. It wasn't easy, but the spirits were always there, guiding him to hidden pieces of evidence, things the living couldn't see. In the end, it wasn't enough to bring Vikram down entirely, but it was enough to expose his crimes and force him out of power. The town of Aravind was shaken, its peaceful fads shattered. As for Raghav, he had done his part, though he knew the darkness wasn't fully gone. Late one night, as he sat in his office, ready to close the file on the case, he felt the familiar chill again. Niraj and Maya appeared one last time, their faces calm. They didn't stay long, just long enough to let him know they were at peace. And then they were gone, leaving Raghav alone with the silence of the night.